Hello, my name is Julia Pedrosa, and this is my project and program evaluation plan for English 6371. The outline for this presentation, we will be looking at how the needs analysis was conducted, the needs analysis major findings, how needs analysis results impacted the curriculum, some curriculum design highlights, what I learned about myself, and the plan to evaluate the program as far as amount and quality of learning, teaching and learner satisfaction, and later success of graduates from the course. For needs analysis, how it was conducted, I did go into the classroom and looked at the setting and see how the environment was set up. So I was able to do an environment analysis. I was able to look at the student data and the demographics, what kinds of populations were in the classroom, what was also the data from their last state exam, what exams were they required to pass, what curriculums were in place, or what did the curriculum also look like. And in addition, we also looked at what was a history. And just looking at this history, we were able to see that there was no set curriculum for the state of Texas. There are some curriculums available, such as the Region 1, C-Scope, Textbook Basel. In my district, the curriculum design changes yearly, and it is created by district teachers. And then, obviously, through looking at the data, students share a similar language background. Then this classroom, there was also cognitive limitations based on the data, and there was also time limitations from the classroom master schedule observation. Some needs analysis findings. Some of the findings showed that a plan and curriculum are in dire need to meet the needs of students and teachers. When we looked at the plan and the curriculum, obviously this is a one shoe size fits all. So we need to make sure that we're able to individualize our lessons, offer different types of activities to the teachers in order to be able to individualize and meet the needs of every student. We cannot have one plan similar or that applies for all campuses across the district, especially with the different populations. We also found that there is a large ELL population in our district. So obviously that means that lots of sheltered instruction training is needed, along with some follow through from administrators, not just where the teachers are trained and that's it, but the teachers need to be, the administrators need to follow through and make sure that the teachers are implementing what is being trained, provided in the trainings, along with consistent training, maybe on every other month or every 3 months, just to make sure that they're able to have different types of strategies to better help our ELL population. More kinesthetic activities were also found to be a need. There was a couple of teachers that were observed and were using teacher lecture with paper and pencil. No opportunities for students to talk or to engage with each other to discuss what is being talked about or discussed or taught. Also, more one-to-one time was needed between the teacher and the student. Teachers were doing a lot of whole group and not enough small group or one-to-one time. And I think this is something that can also be implemented into the curriculum to ensure that there is time for teachers to help the students that are struggling the most. Another finding was the genre. The genre that was included in the curriculum was not one that met the students' likings. So we wanted to try to implement genre that the students liked, more like drama, along with some science type of stories the students can actually be intrigued by. Extra support was another finding. With extra support, what we mean is that there isn't somebody at home to help out the students, and students would really like to have someone at school that can help them out, maybe after school or during lunch. So maybe teachers can provide some tutorial time after school or during lunch, or maybe even like have during DEAR time where students, or maybe during class, maybe not during DEAR time, but have a set a time set aside to where students can actually ask the teacher for help. And of course, another finding was the time limitations in the class. The time limitations, some classes went 55 to 45 minutes, depending on the day, to be able to provide intervention to the students in a smaller setting. Though this was supposed to be a plus, it ended up being a negative because there wasn't enough time to provide the intervention, as in addition to already the class time that was being cut short, to be able to provide enough time to teach, practice, and learn the skills needed. So how did the needs analysis impact the curriculum? So we're going to look at the needs analysis and the curriculum. Well, knowing the needs of the students and the components that were missing, we're able to incorporate drama into the curriculum, such as Becoming Al Million, 11, and Baseball in April. Further along the school year, of course, drama would be seen as a play, so we would eventually maybe convert the Becoming Al Million into a drama, or even look at an excerpt of Becoming Al Million to make it a drama. More kinesthetic activities were included into the curriculum, where students were able to collaborate about what they were learning. They were able to do book walks, they were able to do gallery walks, they were able to more apply what they knew or what they thought the skill was with other students, and have that support from the teacher that they were lacking. And then the scaffolding, because of the different language proficiencies, lots of scaffolding was incorporated. A lot of collaborative discussions to make inferences, scaffolding to help those who lack the background and the cognitive skills, such as the special ed students, which were one of the populations in the classroom. Curriculum design highlights. I believe that some of the curriculum design highlights would be the scaffolding activities. Actually, the amount of scaffolding activities that were included into the curriculum, such as the gallery walks, a lot of the buddy talk, a lot of find it in your reading. I also believe that another highlight would be the curriculum design. The goals and objectives were purposeful. It wasn't just about doing cute activities, but it was also about making sure that the goals were driven by the data. The objectives were driven by the data. So this way we knew that the end result would be what we wanted it to be on the state exams or on the benchmarks or the 6 weeks test. And then the materials. There wasn't many handouts. Teachers didn't need to be running copies off. It was a lot of quick writes, a lot of round tables or jot table structures, to where students were able to write, make a list with a partner and discuss what the topic was, what the skill was, or even to kind of sum up what they had just read. My self-reflection, I had to choose 2 sections. I couldn't just do one. What I learned about myself was that I incorporated lots of supportive activities, and I believe that this is because of my job position, where I push sheltered instruction strategies as part of my job. And that is why I found myself incorporating lots of supportive activities, lots of sheltered instruction strategies, such as the collaborative and the buddy activities, the discussion for every section, for every activity. And I think that I could have used a curriculum outline. When I sat there, I tried to follow a flow, but I could have used a curriculum outline to help me make sure that everything was connected, and making sure that I did not overdo the supportive activities, the sheltered instruction strategies. As far as the project elements that I would wish I could improve, again, definitely the curriculum outline, incorporate one for myself so I can have an outline of where I'm headed, and making sure that all the TEKS are taught. I would definitely include less scaffolding activities, maybe do a scaffolding activity per lesson, as opposed to every time I was moving on to a different activity. Also, let's focus on the test. We try not to teach to the test. We try not to be all about the test. And obviously my goals were connected to to the testing. So I need to make sure that I don't focus as much on the test and try to make the activities more engaging and more fun. And of course, to maximize on time, I would include closed notes. Some kids will take more time writing than others, especially because of the population we have, our special ed. And also some of our lower ELLs, where they do struggle. They don't copy sentences or phrases, but they copy letters at a time, or they just copy whatever they see on the board. So I would definitely incorporate closed notes into my curriculum to better maximize time. To evaluate the mountain quality of learning, I would definitely set aside some goals, certain goals for each 6 weeks in order for me to be able to check the content mastery. The teachers would have a whole 6 weeks period to teach and to ensure that the students learn these set of goals. Thinking about having the period be about 27 days. So this is 5 weeks and 2 days of teaching and reviewing and practicing, and then gives 3 days for the testing to happen, or for the evaluation to happen. And because it is not just one content area that this would be happening or that I would have to share time with, I would say I would give 3 days for the evaluation plan to happen. The assessment tool that I would use for to check the amount and quality of learning is an excerpt of this benchmark, because it does cover all the skills needed and all the skills that should be taught in order for students to be prepared for the state exam, which is the STAAR. I would also do an interview. I would interview the students. It'll be a quick, maybe even it's more of a survey, where I would give students a quick 5-question survey to evaluate the amount and quality of learning. What is that they thought that was missing, what was a strength, what was a weakness, what could we have done to improve the quality of learning instead of just paper and pencil or handouts. To evaluate the teacher and learner satisfaction, I would definitely look at the re-enrollment statistics and the retention of teachers. I would look at the re-enrollment statistics because if it is a good class, more students are going to want to learn. If teachers are happy with the program, they will be willing to stay as opposed to be moving on to another job or to better careers or cities or districts. I would also use questionnaires because I want to know what the teacher and the learner liked about the program, what changes they would suggest, and what else can we do to improve the program. We don't want to continue with the program if it's not being effective, if it's not beneficial to the students. And of course, we want teachers that are going to be passionate about what they are teaching and wanting to prepare our future who are the students to be better citizens and future leaders. I would look at this I'd give the time frame about a year because classes are a year long. I might actually consider doing the questionnaire twice a year after each semester. So I guess it would be after fall and after the spring. Lastly, to evaluate the latter success of graduates, I would definitely interview graduates at the end, and then I would follow up and see how are they doing in their first year of college by looking at their records, such as their first year college GPA. As far as interviewing the students, I would ask them, what is it that we could have done to better prepare them for college? What is it that the program was lacking? What was a strength, of course, and what was a weakness? And I will give this about a 1 year. At the end of the year, I would definitely evaluate the program and interview the graduates to see how they would do. I wouldn't do it at the end of the first semester because, of course, they've only learned halfway through the skills. They're only halfway through the skills. And as far as the first year, I want to make sure, after the first semester, a lot of them, you can't evaluate their first year of college just off of one semester because it's more of a trying to figure out where they are, who they are. And then this after the second semester, which would complete their first year, would give us a better idea as to how prepared they felt for the first year of college.